Tonight, Israel's divisions deepen as its parliament votes for controversial judicial reforms. And is desecration of religious items the new normal now? We cover stories about Russia's promise of retaliation after Ukrainian drone attack, former Canadian officer accused of having links with China, and time to bid farewell to Twitter's iconic blue bird. Assalamu alaikum. Good evening. This is Muslim News Canada on Muslim Network TV. I'm Catherine Bullock. Israel's hard-right government has pushed through Parliament a key clause of its controversial judicial reform package. The news comes after Israel has been rocked with months of mass protests and concerns voiced by foreign allies. Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu and his coalition allies approved the bill in a Knesset vote boycotted by opposition lawmakers. Some of the opposition leaders shouted, "Shame, shame." Critics say the judicial reforms will undermine Israel's liberal democracy by removing checks and balances on the executive. On the other hand, Israel's coalition government argues it needs to curb judicial overreach. The bill passed with 64 votes in the 120-seat chamber. The bill aims to limit the powers of the Supreme Court in striking down government decisions which the judges consider, quote, unreasonable. The reform package has triggered one of the biggest protest movements in Israel's history since it was unveiled by the government in January. The bill was passed hours after Netanyahu returned to the Knesset after undergoing a heart surgery. Police outside the legislature used water cannons and mounted officers were deployed against a crowd of demonstrators. President Isaac Herzog earlier warned that Israel faced a national emergency. Herzog tried to negotiate a deal till the last minute. Netanyahu's coalition government, which includes far-right and ultra-Orthodox Jewish parties, argues that the proposed changes are needed to ensure a better balance of power. Israel's ally Washington had on Sunday reiterated concern about the political turmoil, with Biden urging Israeli leaders to postpone the vote. The Organization of Islamic Cooperation has suspended Sweden's special envoy status. The organization made the announcement yesterday via a statement. The OIC's Secretary General Hussein Brahim Taha had been asked in early July to consider actions against countries where the Holy Quran and Islamic symbols are desecrated. Taha highlighted that the burning of copies of the Quran and other acts against Islamic figures and symbols are not, quote, ordinary Islamophobia incidents. As a result, the OIC decided to revoke Sweden's special envoy status. The OIC calls for the implementation of international law that prohibits advocacy of religious hatred. It stresses the importance of adhering to a resolution recently adopted by the UN Human Rights Council. The resolution addresses the issue of combating religious hatred that incites discrimination, hostility, or violence. The OIC is preparing to call an emergency meeting of the Council of Foreign Ministers to further discuss the situation and make any necessary decisions. A British Muslim preacher and a Canadian man have been charged in the UK for membership of a proscribed organisation. Anjem Chowdhury, a British Muslim preacher, has been charged with 3 offences following his arrest in London last week. The British police have confirmed the charges against Chowdhury include membership of a proscribed organisation, directing said organisation, and addressing meetings to encourage support for it. Chowdhury is set to appear on Monday in a London court. Another individual, Khalid Hussein, a 28-year-old Canadian man, was also charged with membership of a proscribed organisation. Hussein was arrested on the same day as Chowdhury upon arriving at Heathrow Airport in the UK. Chowdhury is one of the UK's most controversial Muslim preachers. He was previously imprisoned in 2016 for his involvement in promoting support for the ISIS armed group. He was released 2 years later. ISIS has been classified as a terrorist group in Britain and Canada. According to UK law, supporting the organisation is a criminal offence that can lead to up to 10 years of imprisonment. Chowdhury used to be head of an organisation called Al-Muhajirun, which is now banned. British authorities have previously linked Al-Muhajirun to being the driving force behind the 2005 London bombings. Russia says it will find and punish those involved in an overnight drone attack in Moscow and Crimea. The news comes after Russia says it stopped Ukrainian drone attacks through electronic warfare. A statement released by the Russian Defense Ministry says that Russian forces jammed and crashed 14 Ukrainian UAVs by electronic warfare. It says another 3 drones were destroyed by air defense systems. The Russian Foreign Ministry says the attacks have no military meaning. It blames the Western countries for their involvement. It says Russia's investigative committee has opened criminal cases into the attacks. Moscow's mayor has confirmed that the attacks did not cause any casualties. The Ukrainian digital transformation minister says there will be more strikes in the future. For more on the latest Quran desecration, stay tuned. Attacks against the Holy Quran persist in Denmark's capital, Copenhagen, as members of the marginalized group Danish Patriots today burned 2 copies of the Quran. The group is known for its anti-Islamic and ultra-nationalist stance. The incidents took place in front of the Iranian embassy and later in front of the Iraqi embassy in Copenhagen. The group's members chanted slogans insulting Islam and showed disrespect by stepping on the Iranian flag and the Quran. Then they lit fire to the copy of the Quran and Iranian flag. They live-streamed the offensive moments on their social media accounts. The Danish Patriots claimed that their actions were a response to Iran's announcement of arresting and prosecuting members of their group and supporters. The group members then came in front of the Iraqi embassy, where they burned the Iraqi flag and the Quran again. The group opened an anti-Islamic banner and continued its insulting rhetoric against Islam. The incidents took place under heavy police protection. The group had also banned the Quran in front of the Iraqi embassy in Copenhagen on Saturday. Denmark has condemned the burning of the Quran. A retired Canadian police officer has been charged with alleged foreign interference. The Royal Canadian Mounted Police released a statement on Friday detailing the charges against William Micah from Hong Kong. He is accused of, quote, using his knowledge and his extensive network of contacts in Canada to obtain intelligence or services to benefit the People's Republic of China. The RCMP alleges that Micah contributed to the Chinese government's efforts to intimidate an individual outside the scope of Canadian law. Micah appeared at Quebec's Longueuil courthouse on Friday by video conference. He was charged with 2 counts under the Security of Information Act. An investigation was launched 2 years ago regarding William Micah's suspicious activities. The RCMP says Micah works for a firm based in Hong Kong that was collecting information about an individual in Canada. Twitter has officially replaced its signature blue bird logo with a white X on a black background as part of a rebranding effort. Twitter owner Elon Musk tweeted an image of the new X branding beamed onto the side of the social media company's headquarters in San Francisco, saying, X.com now points to Twitter.com. Twitter's CEO Linda Yaccarino tweeted, X is here, let's do this. On late Saturday, Musk invited his followers to suggest an X logo and on Sunday chose one of the designs. Thank you for watching. Our news is produced by Sound Vision, which is a not-for-profit organization. We need your support for donations. Please scan the QR code on our broadcast or visit muslimnetwork.tv to donate now. so we can continue to amplify the voices of Muslims in Canada and abroad.